Look, I didn't take this job because I have a passion for logistics. I took it because the rent was 3 months late, and the hiring manager didn't ask about the gap in my employment history. $18 an hour to sit in a climate-controlled booth and watch a few thousand shipping containers rust in the salt air? It sounded like a steal. The yard is massive. It's located on the fringes of the industrial district, a sprawling grid of corrugated steel canyons stacked 4 units high. At night, under the buzzing sodium floodlights, it looks like a dead city. The shadows stretch out long and sharp, and the silence is so heavy it feels like pressure in your ears. My supervisor, a guy named Miller, who looked like he hadn't slept since the 90s, gave me the tour on my first night. He was jittery, kept looking over his shoulder. He showed me the break room, the perimeter fence, and finally, the guard booth. It's a small, reinforced plexiglass box, raised up on stilts, giving you a bird's-eye view of the main lanes. Before he left, he slapped a laminated sheet of paper onto the desk. It was stained with coffee rings and grease. "Read it," Miller said, his voice tight. "Memorize it. I don't care if you think it's a joke. Just follow the damn list." Then he drove off, tires screeching, leaving me alone in the dark. I picked up the list. It was titled Security Protocols, Night Shift. Rule number 1. Keep the booth door locked at all times between midnight and 5 a.m. Do not open it for anyone, even law enforcement. Rule number 2. Conduct your patrols on the hour, every hour, except for 3 a.m. At 3 a.m., turn off the interior lights and sit on the floor of the booth until 3:15 a.m. Do not look out the windows. Rule number 3. If you see a container that is Vanta black, darker than the night around it, do not shine your flashlight on it. Turn around and walk back the way you came. Rule number 4. You will hear noises from inside the containers. Thumping, scratching, yelling. This is structurally impossible. The containers are empty. Ignore it. Rule number 5. The radio is for emergency use only. If you hear a voice on the radio that claims to be dispatch, ask for the code of the day. If they do not answer immediately, throw the radio outside. Rule number 6. Do not trust voices that sound like you. I laughed. I actually laughed out loud. It sounded like hazing. Every job has that guy who tries to scare the rookie. I threw the list into a drawer, poured myself a cup of lukewarm coffee, and settled in to watch movies on my phone. The first 3 nights were excruciatingly boring. Just wind whistling through the stacks and the occasional settling groan of metal on metal. I did the patrols, I checked the locks, I drank coffee. I ignored the rules entirely. I didn't sit on the floor at 3 a.m. I kept the lights on. Nothing happened. Then came last night. Night 4. The fog had rolled in off the bay, thick and oily. It swallowed the floodlights, turning the yard into a hazy gray soup. Visibility was down to maybe 10 feet. I was on my 1000 a.m. patrol, walking down Lane 7, a long, narrow corridor between 2 towering walls of red and blue containers. The air smelled wrong. Usually it smells like diesel and brine. Tonight it smelled like ozone, sharp, electric, like a thunderstorm was brewing, but the sky was silent. That's when I heard it. Scritch, scritch, scritch. It was coming from inside a blue Maersk container to my left. It sounded like fingernails dragging down a chalkboard. I froze. The manifest said this lane was empty storage. "Hello?" I called out, my voice echoing weirdly in the fog. "This is private property." The scratching stopped. Then a voice came from inside the steel box. It was muffled, thick, like someone speaking with their mouth full of water. "Help me, please. It's tight in here." I reached for my radio to call Miller, but then I hesitated. The voice, it didn't sound like a trespasser. It sounded flat, monotone, like a recording being played back at the wrong speed. I remembered Rule 4. Ignore the noises. I backed away, heart hammering, and finished the patrol at a brisk jog. When I got back to the booth, I locked the door and checked the time. 2:58 a.m. I sat in the chair, staring at the monitors. The cameras were useless, just gray static from the fog. Then the radio on the desk crackled to life. "Security, this is dispatch. Status report." I jumped. The voice was clear, professional. It sounded exactly like Miller. I reached for the mic, relieved. "Miller?" "Yeah, this is Jack. I've got a situation in Lane 7. I think there's a stowaway in one of the cans. There was a pause. A long, static-filled silence. Copy that, Jack. I'm coming to your location. Open the booth door so I can check the logs. I stood up, reaching for the latch, but my hand stopped inches from the deadbolt. Something in my gut twisted. Miller never came back to the site at night. He made a huge point of that. Miller, I said into the mic, my voice trembling, what's the code of the day? Silence. Then the radio let out a sound I can only describe as a wet giggle. Open the door, Jack. It wasn't Miller's voice anymore. It was mine. It was a perfect recording of my own voice, spoken with a terrifying, hungry inflection. Open the door, Jack. It's tight in here. I dropped the mic. I backed up until my back hit the far wall of the booth. I looked at the clock. 3:71 a.m. Rule 2. At 3 a.m., turn off the lights and sit on the floor. I slammed my hand against the light switch, plunging the booth into darkness. I slid down to the floor, curling into a ball beneath the window line. Outside, the silence broke. I heard footsteps on the metal stairs leading up to the booth. Heavy, wet footsteps. Slap, 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 slap. They stopped right outside the door. Then, a gentle knocking. Tap, 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 Jack. The voice called out. It was my voice. It was perfect. Jack, are you in there? I brought coffee. Open up. I clamped my hands over my ears. I squeezed my eyes shut. I could smell it now, that ozone smell, mixed with something else, something like rotting meat left in the sun. The doorknob rattled violently. The whole booth shook on its stilts. Let me in, my own voice screamed from the other side of the glass. It's dark. I don't like the dark. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I stayed there for what felt like hours, shaking, tears streaming down my face, listening to the thing that sounded like me begging for its life on the other side of the door. At 3:15 a.m. exactly, the rattling stopped. The footsteps receded down the stairs, slow and heavy. I didn't move until the sun came up. I'm writing this from the booth. It's 7 a.m. now. The sun should be up. The shift change crew should be here, but they aren't. I looked out the window 10 minutes ago. The fog hasn't lifted, and the gate. The main gate is gone. Where the exit used to be, there's just another wall of containers. They're stacked 6 high. And right in the middle, directly facing the booth, is a container I've never seen before. It isn't red or blue or rusty orange. It is black. Vanta black. It seems to absorb the light around it. And the door to that container is slowly, inch by inch, creaking open. My radio just crackled again. Jack, it whispered. Shift's over. Time to come inside.